Good morning, everybody. Woo, it is Thursday. Okay, let me make sure. Yeah, it's Thursday. right now, with this year going like, whoosh, whoosh, I was like, I got to check every time I look at my calendar now. I said, I don't know about anybody else, but I'd be looking at my calendar just to check to make sure I'm on the right day and what time it is, because things are just going so fast, but in a good way for me and hopefully for everybody else. Because, I know we all been dealing, okay, we all know, okay, the big elephant in the room. We've been dealing with the pandemic. Okay, got it. We don't like it. We hate it. It's despicable. A lot of people are lost in this whole thing. But the other side of it, let's look at the other side. I always tell people to flip it. Let's get the negative, flip it to the positive, and see how we have been growing. We have been finding ourselves a little bit more. We've been saying some things that we were dealing with last year, and we had a little pause, and now we're like, you know what? I don't think I want to do this anymore. I think I'm made for greater things than what I'm doing. And I've been talking to a lot of people, including me, yours truly, that I've been doing another, just like an audit of myself. And I think you've been doing an audit of yourselves too, and saying, we can't take this for granted anymore. We can't take life for granted. We can't take time for granted. And now that we see what could happen, okay, in any given time, that we told ourselves, okay, you know what? I think I need to really seek out what really my purpose and the passion and drive is in my life right now. What's deep inside? Because I only have one life to live, and I don't know when that's going to go. You don't. I tell people already, people, if you know me and heard of my story last year, I lost with 3 months time last year and in 1 month this year, I lost 13 people from COVID, 13. And every time I think about that, I tell myself, I don't have time to be playing around. I really don't, because each and every one of you out there has a gift. And you need to leave that legacy. You need to be the influence. You need to be the motivator, so we can help each other out and help each other grow and see. And people are out there that needs you. So you don't have time to be sitting back saying, well, I don't know, or maybe I'll wait to do that book, or maybe I'll wait to get on those stages and speak. When I hear people now, before I used to be like, their confidence level. I know some people are scared of the stage. I know they said that the biggest thing before dying is doing public speaking. I hear that all the time. That's like the thing of people saying, well, this is number one is, okay, I don't want to public speak. They'll die first. Now that's crazy. They'll sit there and want to die first before they get on stage and speak. And a while ago, I have to say, because, okay, a lot of people are like, Barbara, you were shy like 7, 8, 9 years ago. I said, yeah, I was a shy person, because I was bullied when I was younger. So that kind of stayed with me, and I didn't feel like I was worthy to even speak or do what I'm doing right now. But then I had to tell myself, if I have that gift that's embedded in me and want to help others, I can't sit back. So then when I see other people that have their gifts and their talents, like I'm talking to 2 wonderful ladies that's going to come on in a minute from the Power Up Summit, and I'm telling you, powerful. But I'm not going to give it all because they're about to come on stage. But how can you not speak about something that you have so much passion about? Just think about it. If you're telling the people, well, I got a passion for helping children, or I have a passion for empowering women, and then you're sitting back saying, well, I don't know if I need to do that, and I don't know if I should say anything, and I don't know if I speak right, and I don't know if I look right, I need to lose some weight, and you see how I'm going back and back and back, and while you're saying that, time is passing, people are waiting for you, so we have to step it up. Before I used to do ads and say, well, think about it, stepping up. You know what? There's no more ask anymore. It's a demand now. It's a big demand. And I'm seeing so many people now bursting out because of last year, because of COVID, because they're saying to themselves, I can't sit back and be nervous. And you know what? They're like this. If I am nervous, I'm hiding it. I'm going out there and do what I have to do. I got to do what I have to do for other people so they can get what they need from you. So with that said, let me read this real quick so I can bring these queens up, because I will go talking and then it'll be like, Barbara, you invited me to the show. I'm not even on the stage yet. This is not about me. This is about them. So let's go right into risk taking here. You cannot make the most of yourself in life if you do not take risks. By risk, I am not speaking about risks you might take physically. I am speaking about taking risks such as speaking up for yourself, following your passion even when it seems like your dreams is unattainable, having the courage to leave any situation that is not right for you. Risk calling sometimes to turn a painful situation into a pleasure. Risk applying for a new job with an attitude of courage. Risk going to new places and meeting new friends. Through risking your growth as a person, make the most of yourself. Today, go out, get out of your comfort zone, and take a risk. Love it, love it, love it. That's what I'm saying about risk taking. We was right into that. So right now, I know we already start the show, but I got to do it right because I feel like I was in my soapbox a minute ago. So let's start this show and bring these queens on, shall we? Okay. Woo. See, we're getting you in the groove there. Get some music going. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it up. Get it started. We about to have a party. So today I'm bringing on two lovely women from the Power Up Summit over the wonderful, I call Queen. You know, she butts in the seats Queen, as she calls herself, Miss Kern Cherry. She is, I'm telling you, she is making dreams come true for people in general when it comes to speaking, when it comes to writing your book, your first book, your chapter of the book, when it comes to just promoting you, visibility. She is a heavy hitter, and I have to just thank her so much for gracing me with the ladies and men, because there's ladies and men that's a part of this conference, part of this summit, to come on my show so you can get to know them and introduce them to the world. I always tell people, please, one thing I ask, everybody that comes on this platform is golden, okay, is golden. So I want you to listen to their stories, listen to what they do. And then let's do another action item after that and reach out to them. You might say, well, maybe that particular person is not my coach, or maybe that particular person is not my counselor, but you know other people that might be. Okay, let's be connectors here. Let's be connectors here. That's what it's all about. So when you listen to these wonderful ladies and their stories, and I just love bringing the Queen Diamonds up, give them the respect, reach out to them, and just, you know, whatever needs to be done. You never know whose life you're saving connecting with somebody with the people that come on the show. So with that, I had to put a little disclaimer. Let's bring them on right. Let's bring them on right. Here we go. Ladies, look at the beautiful ladies. Look at that.
Hey, whoa, hi. You caught me moved. I was chair dancing. Barbara, that's so cool of a music. I was sitting here chair dancing, doing the exercises.
I was too. We were doing it together. Wonderful,
Oh,
wonderful, lazy. Oh, I'm so glad that you two are on today. So, just Gracie, this is an honor. I always say this is a gift to me because I'm going to be selfish right now. This is a gift to me because just bringing on the royalty on the show and just getting to know how much you do in the world, how much influencers you are, and all that. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, thank you. Yes, lady. So I know let's get started. Let's just get all into it here. Because this is a conversation so they can get to know you. It's not about me. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be quiet for a minute. And I want you to introduce yourselves and just tell a little backstory of how you came from the hard working women you are to just celebrities that you are now. So let's start. Whoever wants to start first.
Tamika, go ahead and go.
Thank you. You're so gracious. Good morning to Barbara. Good morning to Cher. Did I pronounce that correctly, Cher? Good morning to you. I am Tamika Blyther's educator, consultant, and transformational speaker. It is such an honor to be on this platform with Barbara. Thank you for the invitation. I'm an educator. I've been educating for going on this. I think this will be my 26th or 27th year. So I've had a very adventurous teaching career, and I share that on the platform about how I actually cashed in my Georgia retirement to pursue my dreams of becoming a children's book author. And next thing I know, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a consultant. All of these little endeavors started popping off in my life. So I've had a very adventurous life, and I just believe in making my life count. I love empowering, encouraging, and educating.
Ooh-wee. Oh, I hear echoes. That might be me.
Is that? Okay, I haven't said anything yet. Can you hear me now? I took my.
Let's see. Let me check. Okay, yeah.
No.
So what I want to do is go down. Okay, so before we go to you, okay, Shar, is this? I don't want to make sure I pronounce it right. Is it Shar?
No, Cher. Like it's short for Sherry.
Like, okay, so Cher, like the singer Cher.
Everyone thinks that, yes, and I do sing, but I have not been to the presence that she has. And but you know what? Her abundance is wealth is so much different than mine, and I am grateful. But you can call me Cher, Sherry, hey you, whatever.
Oh, no. We're not doing well, first of all, we're gonna correct that. We're not doing no hey you. And and another thing I need to say to you is that you are more than abundance than the singer Cher. So let's just put that out there, okay?
Thank you for having me back. I love being on your show. Yeah. Gosh. I get it's kind of interesting that Tamika and I have a similar background. I was a former educator, and I still feel like I'm an educator. My name is Cher Graham. I am what they call a corporate firefighter. I'm a business solutions consultant and a neuro behavior coach. What that means simply is this: wherever you are, no matter where you are, what you're doing in life, my goal is to work with you, my clients, and the companies I work with to help you be the best that you can be. You know, we have always found a time, and I'm teaching you what I've learned on my journey and what I'm still learning, because I went through a period of time when I couldn't walk. I've had major health issues in the last 4 years due to my not taking care of myself, but it all stemmed from life learning and having been an entrepreneur, but I don't use that term in my life because I am a business owner. And people sometimes forget that every business, even those that we are employed by, started where we are as an idea. They became a CEO. We're CEOs of our own company. We're not just entrepreneurs. We are CEOs of our own life, of our own company. And so that is the premise that I work with. And I educate as well as coach, teach, counsel, consult in life. And so as a neurobehaviorist, I'm the EVP, the Executive Vice President for Synergy Solutions Collaborative. That means we collaborate together. It's not just me helping you. It is us working together as a team to take wherever you are in life and help you transform or renew reset, renew, rewind, review, and then recreate wherever you want to be, whatever you want to be. And with that, I also help taking chaos, whether it's you losing your keys, not sure how to find them, where to go, creating something simple as, oh yeah, I need to put something on my wall to hang my keys on, because that's crisis for some people. So I use a holistic trauma-informed approach to helping people find calm through the chaos. And I love chaos, so. And my whole life was chaotic, and that's a whole other, but that's how my story is, and that's what I've done for over 50 years.
Well, thank you, Cher, for saying that. I'm glad that you said, first of all, I just want to make a little funny thing about the keys. I had to basically put a little thing in my kitchen with a little thing for my keys, because every day I would misplace them somewhere. To the point where I was like, okay, somebody needs to get me and lock me up. Something is not right with me. Why is it every single day I'm trying to look for my keys? So I said, okay, Barbara, let's solve this problem.
Right.
It's just something like, okay, let's just do this instead of keep going on and on and on with the same issue and doing the same thing. So yes, those little things matter. Those little things matter. Those are crises, because you can't drive, you can't, I'm in my house keys. So yeah, thank you for being that crisis specialist for us to help people like me to say, okay, let's help you out here. But I loved how you said, Cher and Tamika, that you are both, just like you said, CEOs of your own company, CEOs of your own dreams. And, that's why I always say when people say, well, that person, they're doing this and this and this, and I'm just kind of just doing, I said, no. We're not going to even go there. That's the one thing I tell people, please don't compare. I don't care if it's Jennifer Lopez, whoever. You are a star. You are a celebrity. That's why every time I have people come on, I say you're celebrities, because you are. You're here every day helping people. Tamika, with the children's books, come on now. You are helping the future. You are helping the future get to that next level. And then I'm just saying, and then you took 27 years. You just said, you know what? I was doing this. Now we'll take this. I'm going to go and I'm going to be an educator. You think about it. Some people be like, I don't know if I should do that. And you just say, you know what I'm doing? I'm taking the chance. You took a risk. And so, we have to, I was saying earlier, we need to take those risks. Now, going into that, I want to dig just a little bit deeper, because I know you just didn't pop out and say, hey, I'm an educator, I'm an author, I'm a speaker. There was some things between there to get you to that road of success that you are now. So Tamika, just a little bit of how, just like, okay, well, I wasn't really thinking about this a while ago. This was some things that might have happened that got you to that point.
Well, just a little peek into that, what I like to call that radical faith jump that I took. I was in the classroom. I started, I think, probably back in 96. And so around 2009, I began to start thinking about what's out there, because every single day, for 180 days, I was standing in front of students telling them, go out, pursue your dreams. You're so gifted. You have so much to offer the world. But we as educators, we are the worst when it comes to pursuing our own dreams, because it's like we're hope dealers, and we're pushing hope. We're pushing hope onto our kids. And every single day, we're leaving our own dreams in the parking lot, helping others to pursue theirs. So I started thinking, I said, well, you know what? I'm looking at these other people in the world where they have all of these, so many gifts. And now I think I can step out, not only be a teacher, I'm a workshop facilitator, transformational speaker, consultant, host, MC, because I speak and talk to people every single day. And I packaged all of that together. And I was like, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And it really hit me hard in 2009. And I think that was like the beginning of the so-called recession. So around 2009, I started wandering outside of the classroom, and I really enjoyed it. And then I finally decided to literally cash in my Georgia retirement. Now you have to know that that is the mega supreme to reach the finish line, that 30-year mark, that 25-year mark, to get the gold watch, to say I've retired. Oh wow, you've won. But you look up and what do you really have? You've got that retirement check, and then you have all of your dreams sitting on the back burner. There, someone asked me, they said, well, why did you want to become a consultant? Well, for one thing, I wanted to help people because people would come to me and say, okay, I've got this idea as how to do a workshop, or do this event. I need some engaging strategies. And so as educators, we're always doing workshops. We have the most engaging strategies. And one thing about it, educating is one of the fivefold ministries. So, guess what? Being an educator, we are anointed. We have the gift, we have that ability to neatly place things and ideas and strategies in the ears of the people. I used to watch Matlock. Yes, I'm dating myself. Matlock would put the witness on the witness stand, and he would have a check, and he would have that southern drawl, and he would say, Your Honor, I've got a check here for $150,000. Now I like to ask the witness, what was this check for? Every single time when he had a witness on the stand with a check, they would always say consulting fees. And for me, I was like, my God, I need to find out what they were consulting. I need to find out what a consultant is. So that right, I was like, whoo, I think it's something about consulting. And and it really is, because people will actually pay for your help. People will actually pay for you to help them to solve a problem. I love being a consultant, most importantly because I'm empowering the people. Cashed in that Georgia retirement. Next thing you know, I'm launching the consulting business called EduVision LLC. And then I was watching Dr. Phil up in one of my spare bedrooms, which actually became my little office. Dr. Phil, he had this platform that was called CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocate. I decided to tap into that. I'm a court appointed special advocate, and that means that I am the foster kids' voice inside the courtroom. I'm a language arts creative writing educator. I noticed that there wasn't any literature out there for foster kids where the foster kid was the main character. So my children's book, Mika Dika Foster Kid and Patches Batches of Motion, it helps foster kids. Mika Dika Foster Kid, she is the main character. And so it's the first in a series. So I wrote that back in 2010. So we're going to see if she ages out of the system or if she gets adopted. So I've got this journey with all of these different paths, so to speak. And so once the retirement money started running out, I said, well, it's been fun. I think I'll transition back into the classroom because there's always a method to the madness. So I wanted my resume to look like this roadmap that actually tells a story. Transition back into the classroom, and I started teaching middle school. And I've always taught in at-risk areas where the poverty level is extremely high. And that's where I know my gift is really needed, in environments like that, where I give vision to the children. I let my students know, if you can't see your way out, dream your way out.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. OMG. There's just so much good stuff all in that. I gotta just leave that alone. I just gotta let it sit right there. One woman, you know what? I was just thinking about when you were talking, and I know Cher's gonna say it. She's so powerful too. But I was just thinking of both of you with the power up theme, for the summit that you're a part of, and it just, people say, "Ooh, power up, power up." But it's so much more detailed than that. So stuff that you were talking about. I mean, with the foster children and how you're taking a book and showing, the dream. Oh my, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm so glad. I never thought about that. That's a good niche because children that are in the foster homes,
Yes.
they have dreams just like other children, but they
They-
just not placed, or they don't have they don't know where they're going to go for as family and everything. And to be that advocate for them,
Mhm,
yes, wow,
mhm,
wow.
mhm, mhm,
So
mhm.
Miss Cher, tell us. I know there was more than just what you're doing now as a celebrity. So give us just a little bit of backstory here.
Well, Tamika said our paths have crossed, or not have crossed. They've gone parallel. I've done a lot of what you've done, but when I started my company, actually, I was a consultant before I went to college, and I started my company in college with the attitude that I was asked to speak. I was 17. I had been known for my dressing, for my fashion. I always wore pearls. I was the only or the only student in college who wore heels, button-down front dresses, button-down shirts, very preppy, and pearls. That was my signature. And I got a call one day from a lady that was a Mary Kay district rep, and she wanted to know if I would teach her reps how to use jewelry and how to use scarves, because that's the other thing I wore. And I said, sure. I got a $25 honorarium just to go spend a couple of hours and teach other women how to use scarves and jewelry. That was the beginning of from the age of 17, but my backstory goes before that. I was published at the age of 10, and I was published twice at 10 and 11 in an anthology. 100 kids were chosen from the United States for writing a paragraph about how proud they were to be an American. And 100 of us got a little 5.5 by 9 bound book with plastic spiral bound on it. It was all typeset because in those days, and that was and I'm going to date myself too, Tamika. It was 1964, 63. I think I was, yeah, it was 10. And I got this book. It came in the mail because my 6th grade teacher saw something in me. And Mrs. Prue, who had gray purple hair, kind of the color of what you've got on your behind you, your back space, yeah, your back color. And she entered what I had written to a national group. I don't know where that anthology is. I wish I could find it, but I'll have to tell you that years later, when I was in college, I met a lady who was from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And in talking with her, we just happened to be in conversation. And she said, oh, I wrote in this anthology, and we had been in the same anthology, did not know each other. We became pen pals in college after that because of that one. Who would have thought that, 10 years later, I'd meet someone who had been in the same book that I had, a decade before and not realized who they were. So we were friends for many years, and I've lost track of her, and I thought about her the other day. But it was just one of those incidents in my life, that synchronicity, and I do believe that there is a reason people come into our lives and why our journeys are the way they are. I was asked last week if I would redo my life over again, and I said no. God had a plan, and He knew all the bumps and all the challenges and all the crevices that I was going to take, because I grew up in Ohio, and I lived in a community where we were not a community. We were a neighborhood. And in talking, again, my whole life is a series of, I've been talking and writing since I was young. Can't keep me quiet. But and you mentioned something, Barbara, early on. I was bullied as a child. I was teased a lot. I was told by my parents to suck it up, deal with it, take it inside. It shouldn't matter. My voice wasn't heard in my family. I'm the oldest of 2. Didn't come from a big family, but our neighborhood, you lived a certain life. Parents didn't get together with the neighbor parents unless they were taking the kids to an event or a school function. But we didn't function as a community. We functioned as a neighborhood where you knew all the neighbors, because I went to school for 12 years with everyone in my neighborhood. And there were so many of us. We were all girls. We had this huge girl pack, but we weren't all friends. And I was one of those who was different than the others, and I knew it. Early on, I realized I was an intuitive. I had the ability to see what was happening. I just knew. I knew it was different. I knew things that other people didn't know. Didn't know why. Didn't know what was happening or why I had this gift. But when I looked at the gifts that God had given me, I had used those gifts early on. And that is something that, and Tamika, you said something that I totally agree with. Educators sometimes were my worst nemesis because they were the ones who never stepped outside that box. They lived in their classroom. They lived in those 18 to 27 chairs and the hallway. And that's where they lived. And you're right. We as educators, and I still think every person is an educator. Barbara, you're an educator. By how we live our life, that's teaching somebody something every day. And you're right. You and we all have the same philosophy about living in life, and that is, I write, I speak every day. So I am a speaker. We're all speakers. We're also salespeople. So my journey from college to here has been that I've been ahead of the curve. I was a consultant in college. When I was 21, I went to a career plan. My first year of teaching, I went to a career conference. And you had to write down, what's your title? So I wrote down consultant. Then the next question was, what do you want to do 5 years later? Then we had to share it. Everyone in my group wanted to be a consultant. And I'm sitting there going, I would just like to see my business increase and be able to help more people and somehow find peace in our world. And they just looked at me and said, why? Because I was a consultant. Each of us are consultants. Parents are consultants. We're all consultants. When someone asks us for our opinion, how to help them, we consult. Consultants coach. I educate my clients every day. Every time a call comes in, there's always that part of education in listening and teaching them how they can help themselves and work with them to find that solution. So we don't do that with our kids in the classroom. You can teach them to dream big. The best modeling that teachers can do is to go do something. And workshops are great. I love doing workshops. Teachers are sometimes the best, they're better workshop communicators than others. Some are not, just depends, but that's life. But the whole point is, when we don't take our gifts, whatever our gifts are, the day that I woke up, let me finish that. When we don't use our gifts, we're leaving behind the best of who we are. They're in our heart, they're in our brain. And you said something about don't die. Don't leave this world without sharing your gifts. And so many people do that. I was trying to work on, and I'm one of those people that Tamika, you talked about. I'm one of those people that I sat, because part of my career has been, I'm helping others. This was my comeback year and my come out year. I am a writer and speaker, and I help everyone else in the community. As a neurobehaviorist, I'm in health communications. So I help people with their health, with their communications. And now this new program that I'm releasing and starting and talking about at Power Up is about self. Because in 2016, I woke up one morning, January 2017, I have to think back. I woke up one morning, I couldn't walk. Gone to bed at midnight, 4 a.m., I wake up and my left side will not work. And I had no clue. I was in better health then than I am now, but I'm in better health today because I made those changes. But it took time. What happened was I have osteoarthritis. I live with it every day, but you don't see it. But I could not walk. And here I am producing major mental health conferences. What am I going to do? I have a team. My team stuck with me. And it still takes me time. I still use a walker sometimes when I have to, but you don't see that. It's in my car if I need it. A year later, I decided to get dental prosthesis. And that set the trajectory for another 4 years of challenges with digestive and intestinal challenges. I didn't think I knew what I was doing, and I didn't. I am not with my dentures today. And it took me a while to realize I am the same human being with them in or with them out. I just have a little more lines here, and that's okay. I call them my wisdom lines, but actually, until you take your teeth out, you don't realize the impact. I can't believe I'm talking about this today. I wasn't going to, but it's important because it's who I am today. And I had to take that risk in January because I can't live my life anymore not being authentic. And as a writer, I've had 3 anthologies released this year already. I've had, this is my 3rd conference. So every month has been a different part of my journey. My plan is simple, and it starts with self. So I've gone through everything everybody else has, been there, done that. So I'm not going to repeat it, but life is fun and it's an adventure.
Yes. Oh my God.
I want to write a children's book. So you and I need to talk because I want to find out your projects, your process.
The connections, I'm loving it. Oh my God. Ladies, I just have to say, thank you for being so vulnerable. Thank you for being so vulnerable, because people need that. People need that because you don't know who's going through. And then seeing what you and Tamika's doing right now, that gives them hope. You're saving lives. You are saving lives. I always say that. So thank you so much. So the time just passed. I'm like, oh my, I got to start having you ladies on for an hour. This 30-minute thing is not going to work anymore. I see that right now. I want to just on for an hour. But before we sign off, can you please let them know how to contact both of you? Because like I said earlier, you two have so much other things that you're doing, your CEOs, your consultants, authors. So please tell them how they can contact you.
Yes, I can be contacted on Facebook and Instagram, TL Blyther's Author, LinkedIn, TL Blyther's, Clubhouse, at T Blythers. Also, my email, tblythers@gmail.com.
Site, www.sharegram. Oh, I'm unmuted. Yay! I wasn't sure. Oh, sorry, wasn't paying attention. You can find me on my website. It's www.shergraham.com. Clubhouse at ShareG49. LinkedIn, ShareGram. Twitter, ShareGram. Facebook, ShareGram. Where am I? Anyhow, or you can just Google me. I am all over. We're probably all over the internet. So Google us, and you can type in Sherry, SHERRIE, or Share, SHER, and you will find us. And please come to Power Up, because we're ready to power up and get going and help you get your life going.
Exactly. Power Up is exactly what we need for the last 365 days. Plus, I don't know about you, but we have all been drained with everything that has gone on. And in the midst of these 365 plus days, I guarantee you that we've lost some of our power. This is an opportunity for you to step into the arena at the Power Up Summit and get powered up. So find me on IamTLBlythers.com and upperroomwriter.com.
Yes.
And it's free. It's free. It's free. It's a virtual conference and it's free. 4 days. Come join us. There's going to be a lot of powerful people there. Powerful comments to help.
Yes.
Well, ladies, I appreciate you so much. You, like I said, you are my gifts for today. I'm being selfish again, for listening, for being a part of your world, for being a part of your celebrity status. And like they said, power up. And again, I had to bring you back because, like I said, 30 minutes is just not enough to really hear so much that you do for everybody. So thank you for being an influencer, and thank you for stepping up and powering up in your life.
And thank you for this invitation to be on this awesome platform.
Oh, thank you, Tamika.
Thank you. Yay. To my deaf community. Yay. Thank you.
I like that. See you later. Bye.
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 I'm hanging on your every word. The love inside, I feel it burn. I've never felt this way before. I've had a taste, now I want more. So here we are, just you and me. I'm overwhelmed when you touch me. You talk so sweet, I hear the sound. 'Cause when you do, my feet won't touch the ground. My feet won't touch the ground.
Woo-wee, I had the queens on, the queens. Okay, just I left this down below. Please, it is July 14th through the 18th, Power Up Summit. You can register at time2powerup.com. And just to let everybody know, it's time and it's the two, not two like spelled out two, but two. powerup.com. Lovely ladies. I had to bring them back. I really do. So now we're going to go right into our wonderful expert for today, Mrs. Other Queen Bee of herself, Miss Laura Armstrong. She's coming on strong here. She's going to give us, well, you know what? I'm not even going to do that. Why do I do that? I always give the goods before she gives the goods. So I'm just going to say, let's listen to this wonderful, amazing, spectacular woman talk about her gifts and her talents. And she's giving some gifts to us today. So here she comes.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? Before we get started today, I want to let you know that as of next week, I'm going to be starting a half hour earlier. So I'll be sending out a notice on all my social media. So just keep an eye out for that. I'll be starting at 9 a.m. Eastern instead of 9:30-ish. Okay. I'm going to switch that around. Barbara and I had a good conversation around that. Early in the morning is just a little bit better for me. So I hope it works for you too. I'm really happy to be here today. I got a lot to talk about today. And, you know, on my segment, we do all things leadership and communication. And, you know, I could probably do years of segments on this because there's so much. And I think what I'm going to start to do is maybe do once a month. I'm going to bring on a guest speaker to talk about leadership or communication. And I wanted to just let you guys know about that. I'll let you know which week it's going to be, so you guys can tune in as usual. But today I wanted to talk about, I've got my list of stuff I want to talk about. And I want to, you know, as a leader, one of the most important things that I've had to do, well, I've always kind of been good at it, but it's not something I really enjoy doing, is getting organized. And I think if we want to really be successful, there has to be that piece to the puzzle in it, right? So I'm going to start asking you guys a few questions, okay? And getting you thinking about what you need to be doing to get organized. And I'm going to cover different aspects of getting organized because it's not just all about how your desk looks, okay? Getting organized is all about not only your mental state, but your physical state and your business. Do you have the processes and the systems in place you need to? How do you want to scale your business? Like, there are lots of different aspects to being organized. So I'm going to cover a few of those today. So first of all, let me ask you this. How are you spending the majority of time in your business? Are you doing things that, don't create revenue? Are you doing things that you can hand off to someone else? Right? Because I think you need to get really clear. And I know when we start out in our business, we have to do more of the things because the money isn't coming in the way it should be. But there comes a point where you have to start getting other people involved. And sometimes I call this your power of five, right? So who are the 5 people? You are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with the most, right? Like, think about that. That's a powerful statement. So who do you hang out with? Who do you not want to be hanging out with anymore? I mean, your personal life is one thing, but when you're in your business, who are the 5 people that you are collaborating with the most? That's where you need to be looking. Because if it's not someone who's driving you, you're driving them. If it's not someone that contributes to you and you're contributing to them, why are they in your power of 5, right? So power of 5 is a whole other class I'm going to talk about later. But it's just something to think about in your leadership. And if you really want to get organized, you can tap into those people to help you, and they're going to tap into you to help them, right? On the other side of that, make sure that you're not doing things that are taking up, that you have to learn, that are going to take up, days of your time, like doing a website. Pay somebody to do it because that's their genius, right? When you're getting organized, and one other thing I want to talk about here that's really good, I mean, I could talk about 20 different things, is make sure that you do yourself a favor and create a simple business plan. I am not a planner. I am anti-plan, but I had to step into that, and it's really uncomfortable for me because it's not my wheelhouse, and to me, it's really boring. But to others, it's their forte, right? So you don't have to do this by yourself. There are lots of websites, government websites, that have free business plan templates that you can use. There's a lot of resources that you can get a hold of. But even keep it simple for something as simple as, what is your business plan? So, what is it that you're doing? Have you done market research? What are your financials? Where are you located? Is it a physical? Is it online? So the business plan can help to keep you really, really organized and moving forward in your business. Okay. So I encourage you to look at a simple business plan and go through it. It doesn't have to take you days. It could take you a couple hours. Okay. But it's going to be worthwhile. The beauty of this is that you're going to be able to look at it and adjust it whenever you need. Right? So it's not like it's set in stone. It's just a marker of where you are now and how things are going to look. Okay? So keep that in mind. So when we're talking about how organized are you and, how you spend your time, do you do time blocking? Like, how many hours a day do you spend on your business? And what are your activities there? And this connects into your to-do list. You have a to-do list. Some people don't like to-do lists because they feel like they pressure them, believe it or not. And I understand that, right? So it's whatever works for you here that you're trying to figure out, but you have to get organized or you're just not going to be productive in your business, okay? So to-do lists, I use them because they really serve me. So basically, I take the top 3 things. I've got like 10 top 3 things on my list right now, but I'll take the top 3 things to do in a day. And that's what I work towards because I know that needs to get done. And I really prioritize that. So I've really gotten into that habit of that. Remember how we talked about habits a couple weeks ago? So it became a habit at first, and now it's a ritual. I look at it before I go to bed. I look at it first thing in the morning so I can plan my day and be organized. Okay. And, the other thing too is be open to shifting and changing, right? Changing and shifting in your business is just going to be a part of life for you. Right? So if something comes up that's an emergency or needs to be done right away, that goes to the top of the list and the other stuff moves down. Okay. There's going to be stuff on your to-do list that's just there and it needs to get done at some point. But do it at some point. Don't just keep it on the list. And believe me, I've been guilty of that. Right. So make sure that you're doing that for sure. So when you're looking at your list and you're doing your top 3 things, like I said, things will come in. I really look at my business like a toddler learning to walk. Okay. When I started out. So, if the toddler's walking from one parent to the other across the room. He starts walking, and he's, the other parent's encouraging him. Oh, but then he sees some food over here. So he walks over here and he picks up the food and he starts eating. And then he starts, the other parent's like, come on. Oh, so he starts going towards the other parent. Then he gets distracted by a toy over here, right? Like, so, oh, let's go play with the toy. And then, the parent's like, oh, come on, you got to make it. So he's halfway across the room. And there are things along the way that are going to distract him. Other people, could be whatever. But the point I'm trying to make here is he gets to the other side of the room. You guys are going to get where you're going. There's going to be distractions. But if you stay organized, you are going to stay focused. And, I've lived this, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is going to be individual for each and every one of you. So just because I do something one way doesn't mean it's going to work for you. That's what you got to figure out. That's why I want to give you all these ideas. Okay. The next thing you want to think about when you're getting organized is, do you have a calendar? I couldn't live without my calendar. My calendar actually keeps me on track. So I'm old school. I have my written book here because my phone, I used to do all my appointments on my phone. That cacked on me a couple times. I wasn't going to go through that again. And I just like the idea of pen and paper. It really feels good to me. But there's so many calendars. You can, I do use Calendly. There's Time Trade. There's, Shopify. There's one on probably your email provider that you can use. Access those. They will keep you on track and organized. I look, as well as looking at my list in the morning, this is my list for today. It's huge, right? I also look at my calendar. What appointments do I have? And then I refer to my booking book. Okay. My calendar book. So those are just a couple tips there. When you're talking about being organized in your business, do you have some idea of, where you're breaking things up? Like, so I do this much work, I do this much family time, relaxation, organization. So break down, you don't have to be anal about it, but just have a framework around that. Okay. And you have a plan when it comes to your business structure, right? So you've done your business plan, okay, and now you're going to bring it to the next level. So in phase 1, I want to complete this, and this is my timeline for that. This is when you're starting to scale up your business. This is where you really want to succeed. Okay, so getting organized by putting in a business structure with your business plan, you guys are going to become unstoppable. I'm telling you, it's a really important part of the puzzle. And that's why organization is so key today. So the next thing I want to talk about in organization here is collaboration and communication. So why did I put this in organization? Because it's really a part of how you're going to grow your business. And, you need to scale it properly, right? So your success may depend on how effectively you can organize your collaboration with others. Plus, it's just as vital to identify who to collaborate with and on what projects. Okay, so I collaborate on quite a few projects right now, but I also have my business plan and I don't get distracted by things that are shiny objects anymore. I'm really clear about, what that looks like, right? So just be super clear about that, okay? Now, what else do I want to talk about? Yeah. Okay. So when you're collaborating, make sure that it's more than a few conversations. Make sure that when you're brainstorming, you both have the same vision. And also make sure that, when you're getting organized about your collaborations, I think I'm going to do a class on collaborations for leadership. I'm just making a note about that because I think that that's a vital thing that, is really become something that's the norm in the world. Make sure that you also set out either a JV, a joint venture agreement, or there's an agreement of some sort about how you're splitting things. And if you decide to end the venture, what's going to happen there? Don't leave it open-ended. This is going to cause you mayhem and it's going to take your organization and throw it out the window. So be sure that you've got a beginning, a middle, and an end to everything. That's how everything works. Nothing lasts forever, okay? Except death and taxes, as you know. Nothing is certain but death and taxes. So make sure when you're collaborating, just a little tips about that, about how organized you should be. Make sure that you are both clear, or whoever you're working with, about what the deliverables are for each other as well. Next is communication. So disorganized and hectic communication will damage your productivity, okay? You must speak and clear in a manner to be sure that your message is understood. This means your communication skills and your active listening skills must be up to par to achieve success in your business. And I think I've told you guys this before. Only 7% of our communication is verbal. When I first heard that, that blew my mind, right? I'm like, holy mackerel, I'm talking an awful lot. So that means I'm not using the other 93% to my benefit. So basically, I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to make what I say impactful. So when I'm communicating with people, I let them do the talking. So because when I do, I can actively listen and they're going to give me clues about themselves. And that's something I never did, 10, 20 years ago. But now, everyone's like, oh, you're such a good listener. And I'm like, I had to work at it, right? Because I love hearing the sound of my own voice. Let's be honest. Most of us do, right? But once you start to actively listen, the people that you're collaborating, connecting, and communicating with are actually going to give you the clues about the values that are important to them. So you'll be able to speak to those, okay, if you're really actively listening. Active listening means you're engaging in the conversation, whether it's a nod or a yep, or letting them know that you're present with them. Okay, especially now with so many more restrictions, and because we're more international, we don't get to be in other people's presence all the time. Okay, so it's just something that you really have to work on to keep that organization about your communication effective. Okay, next, now I want to talk about planning and prioritizing. So we can easily say that the most important part of a well-organized business happens before anything else even takes place. And we kind of talked about this in our business plan. The ability to plan is arguably the most important attribute of any person who claims to have a strong organizational skills. Now, I don't, but I'll tell you, when my business scaled up and it's ready to scale up again, I really had to embrace my systems and processes and put those strong organizational skills into effect, because I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. I needed all the systems, I needed the funnels, I needed all those processes I am not good at. So I got someone to help me with that, because it's not my genius, it's not my expertise, and I have no idea how to do it, right? And I'm willing to admit that, okay? So make sure when you're planning, sorry, my nose is itchy this morning. I think that's good luck, right? So make sure when you're planning that you've got some organization going on there. So also the next thing I want to talk is prioritizing. And we kind of talked about that with our tasks. So it's you're building your project management skills when you're prioritizing. So you're developing strong problem solving skills when something doesn't go as planned. I'll give you a perfect example. Yesterday, I was speaking on a global platform to a whole bunch of amazing women, and I had given my notes to someone who was going to do the PowerPoint for me. I didn't realize they hadn't done the PowerPoint. So literally I had an hour to this presentation that was going to be streamed all over the world. I had to create my PowerPoint in half an hour. So I had to step into action, okay? And I had to take a hold of my project management skills and just push, right? And it turned out pretty good. I mean, there's some corrections, obviously, but I got compliments on the presentation, right? So sometimes we just have to step up and step into things, and you don't realize how much you've been using those skills every day until you're tested under stress. When you're under stress, this is the real you. This is who comes out, right? When it's a difficult situation, it's going to show you what's going on with you. Okay. Next is our mental and physical organizational skills. This is kind of the last thing I left here, because I think it's probably one of the ones that is most common you guys want to hear about. So mental, let's talk about this, because this is not talked about a lot. So mental organizational skills, this goes far beyond being able to think in a logical and orderly way. Mental organizational skills, actually, you do them every day. You just probably don't even think you do them. And when I start to talk about these, you're like, oh, yeah, right? But these are actually mental organizational skills, okay? They allow you to research and analyze situations in a split second. They prepare documentation, or even strategically thinking among others. These are all mental organizational skills, right? Thanks to your analytical skills, you can adopt a methodical approach to solving problems. Okay. Now, not everybody thinks that way because their brains aren't wired that way, and it's not their values, right? So here's a list of some of the most important mental organizational skills that I noticed. There are lots more, but I just put like 5 or 10 down here. So I'm going to read them off because I think they're important. So the first one is administrative. Okay. Getting in your mind what you need to do. Analyzing. Assessment and evaluation. As soon as I look at my list, that mental organization, oh, got to do this first. Okay. Attention to detail, creative thinking, conceptual thinking. Okay. If you think about it, you do this every moment you're breathing, right? Critical thinking, like I did yesterday, I had to step into it. How am I going to get this done right away? Decision making, documenting, identifying problems. Okay. The best thing about identifying problems is if you're really visionary, you can see the problem way before it happens. That's when you know you're hitting your sweet spot. Okay. Research, strategic thinking. Okay. Those are the few of the ones that are the mental organizational skills. And of course, lastly, and most commonly talked about are the physical organizational skills. So being able to keep your workplace well organized is so important. Like I talked about at the beginning, if you can't find necessary documents, office utilities, or your computer desktop is so cluttered that you don't remember what your wallpaper looks like, your workflow will catch a hiccup. I'm telling you, and it'll be more than a hiccup. I had one of my clients, when we were covering this in my gold medal leadership course, she took a picture of her office, and I said, well, what's that? She goes, that's my office. Honestly, I couldn't see the difference between the desk and the floor. And I said, there was so much paper everywhere. And then we went through this course, and she sent me a picture. It had to be like a month or 3 weeks later. And she took a snapshot of just her computer with all of her stuff on her computer and her desk. It was like completely clean. I'm like, what's this? She goes, that was the desk hiding under the papers. So, and she goes, and I noticed I'd been watching her on social media, and talking to her, and she'd become so much more profitable in her business. So perfect example of that, guys. Okay. So let's look at a couple of skills that fall into this category. None of these are going to be a surprise to you, so it's a bit of a reminder. So first is filing. That is the bane of my existence. It is the thing I hate, right? But you need to do it. I need to do it probably on a weekly basis because I just have so much paper. Sometimes I go through. It's getting less and less because I'm more digital, which I'm turning over to, which is great. But even with my emails, even with my digital stuff, I have to make sure I file it right away or it gets lost. Okay. Filing is so key. It's also so boring, but you have to do it or pay somebody to do it for you. Get a VA in there. Office management. Okay, that includes everything going on in your office. Maybe you don't have a size of office like that. It's just you, but you really are managing your office every moment that you're working. Okay. Second is record keeping. Okay. And last is stock inventory if you carry stock. Okay. So those are just a few of the physical things that you want to be thinking about for a well-organized workplace. And the other thing I would add there is making sure that your space is very efficient. Okay. So that kind of falls into office management. So that's a little bit about, business organization today. We covered like a lot of different categories. There are a lot more. But in our time today, I wanted to make the time we have together so effective that you'll actually be able to take these and move them into your business to make a difference so that you see more productivity and you're going to benefit from that. So I hope you enjoyed today. Next week, we're going to talk about where do you want your income to be? Right. So let's dream big next week. And I'm going to get you thinking about, if you were the world champion of your business, what would that look like? What would that leadership look like for you? So I'm going to get you out of your comfort zone and thinking into a little bit deeper about that. I hope you'll join me. Don't forget, next week, I'm starting at 9 a.m., not 9:30 on Thursdays, Eastern Standard Time. I'll be posting it on my social media. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. Join me. My name is Laura Armstrong. I'm a 3-time world championship martial artist. I'm a leadership communication expert. You can check me out at leadershipwithlaura.com or email me at laura@leadershipwithlaura.com. And I'm on all social media. You can also join me on Clubhouse. Please follow me. I have Leadership Warrior rooms in there. I'd love to have you join me. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Take care and talk to you soon.
She always just gives us the goods. I mean, I'm learning how to take a pause because I have a tendency of getting really excited when I'm around like-minded people, especially women, and we're all just going for it, and we just our genius comes out and our gifts comes out. And sometimes I have to just sit back and say, okay, Barbara, pause, let it sink in, let Laura give you the information, and then go boom, and then just be ready to roll with it, just be ready to go with it. Yes, time management, organization. Oh my God, I love Laura. You got to tell. She said something about she's in Clubhouse, but she said something that was like so powerful. I think leader, empire, or something like that. I was like, ooh. She. Anyway, sometimes you can't just, how sometimes things are so powerful that you can't even say the words. Leadership warriors. Thank you, lady. Leadership warriors. Leaders. Come on now. Let me say this. See, I got to sit back on this. Leadership warriors. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? This is nothing to play with. See, this is what I was saying earlier today. Time is out for playtime. We got to be warriors. We got to be conquerors. We got to do what we need to do in this world right now. You don't know when your time, and we found that out last year, haven't we? Dealing with all this stuff. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to give it no power right now. The power I want to give is leadership warriors. So you go into Clubhouse, you find my queen, Laura Armstrong, and you get in there and you be a warrior. I'm so glad. Now this is bad. Now me and her talk like maybe every other week or stuff, because we be chiming in, and I'm just getting this now. How did I miss out on it? What? I missed the memo. Like, what? Yes, lady, you got to tell me what day and time and everything, and I will be there. I will be there. So real quickly, let me get into this. She just got me, when she said that, I feel chills on my back. I'm like, ooh, leadership warriors. Oh my God, wonderful. So let me go right into what I talk about. What I talked about earlier. So I got to calm down. About taking risks. See, this is all about, this all goes back that we have to take these risks. You cannot make the most of yourself in life if you do not take risks. Okay. By risk, I am not speaking about risks you might take physically, because you got to be careful with that. I am speaking about taking risks such as speaking up for yourself, following your passion, even when it seems like your dreams is unattainable, still push forward. I added that. Having the courage to leave any situation that is not right for you, risk calling someone to turn a painful situation into a pleasure, risk applying for a new job with an attitude of courage, risk going to new places and meeting new friends through risking your growth as a person, making the most of yourself. Today, get out of your comfort zone, that box that people keep talking about. Get out that box and take a risk. Take a risk. I just want to leave you with that. Take that risk. We only have this time in life. Take the risk. Take the chance. Use those gifts and those talents that you have in you, that was put in you when you were born. And take that risk. People need you. I need you. Everybody needs you and the gifts that you have, because we help each other out with each other's gifts. We're not in this world alone. Think about it. If we need to be alone, there wouldn't be nobody around. It'd just be you. And that's a sad situation when you think about that. So let's take the time out to understand our PPD, understand your purpose, understand the passion that you have, understand the drive, all the things that you went through. All the things, not so much to look back and say, oh, woe was me, but look at the things to drive you, to push you, to make you power up, as we were saying earlier, to make you be that warrior, to make you be that person, that motivator, to make you be that influence to people's lives. They need you. We need each other. Make sure that you bring out that PPD, as I always say. It's not just a PPD word. I know some people say, Bar, you're saying PPD. Yes. It's important to understand what your true purpose is so your gifts and your talents can grow out and help others. It's important to have that fire, that passion behind it so people know how serious you are about it. And it's important to understand the drive of it because the drive brings you back around to all those stories in your life that told you you weren't going to be about nothing. Maybe you were abused, whatever. And it shows up in your purpose and passion to say, I'm not listening to that no more. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you for the drive. Now I'm going to keep pushing forward. Now I'm going to keep moving forward. That's what it's all about. And I put it in a little bow, wrap it up, a little bow, little present, and I call it your diamond factor. That's the foundation to keep you moving and moving and moving every single day. I think about this real quickly, and I know my time is up, but I just think about this show started 3 days out the week, and now it's 5 days every morning. I never thought I would even be doing a show. I never thought that people would even want to listen to what we bring on. I never even thought that I would even be speaking, period. But I am, because I started believing in who I am, who my gift was, loving me. You have to go to that direction to move forward in what you're trying to do. I know it's so easy to say, well, okay, let me just do me. I know you're probably saying it's not that easy, Barbara, but it is if you take out and say, I'm going to take a risk. It really is. We make it harder. We really do. I made it harder for me. There's a lot of times where I could have just said, let's do this instead of sitting there saying, I don't know. Let's stop that. It's time to move forward. If nothing taught us anything last year with the COVID, it's time to move forward in what you're trying to do. With that said, I will see you tomorrow morning. I have some wonderful other guests coming from the Power Up Summit. Kern Sherry, that's over at the Queen Bee, and get to know these ladies. It's going to be a whole hour full of wonderful getting to know them, getting to know their backstories, getting to know why they want to power up, and the list goes on. So with that, thank you so much. Remember, you have a diamond in you. Just let it shine for others. See you in the morning.